on, champs and champettes? It's FireMonkey here, and believe it or not, I just recorded this entire YouTube video before and realized afterwards, right when I started editing, that I had my microphone muted the entire time. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day, because I'm not, and with that said, we are going to be doing a tier list on every single Minecraft mob up to 1.17. Now, this also includes the unreleased Minecraft mob, which is, the upcoming Deep Dark mob that should be in around 1.19, but yeah, it's still there just so you know this list has that in mind. So without further ado, let's just get right into the list. If you disagree with it, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, but to start us off, we're actually going to start by rating the babies. Firstly, I hate it. I just want to put it out there right now. You're not as bad. You're not as bad, right? I'm just saying, let me explain here. So the reason why I dislike the babies is simply put because they're the babies. They have ruined people's runs multiple times because just how annoying they can actually get. Now, of course, they're, in my opinion, not the most annoying thing in the game, but they are pretty annoying. They can ruin runs, and they're so hard to hit sometimes. So I just gotta say it right there. I gotta put it off my chest right now. And the reason why these two are up there higher a little bit is simply put because if you look at them, they're not going to really aggro on you as much as these ones will, and there's certain criteria you can meet in order for these ones to just not care about you. So they are still annoying to actually, eliminate, but they're not as bad. And now, as we go through this, I do want to mention that all the actual characters here with different variants, such as, axolotls and sheep, are just going to be one variant, their main variant, and that's what we're going to be rating them on. So for the axolotl, they're actually not that bad. I never really find them that much, but, they're not really, in my opinion, that good. They're not that bad. They're just something that was added to the game that I thought was pretty cool and, a cute little addition to Minecraft. Bats, gotta put it down there in D tier. Not even really because of, anything that crazy, just because they're not really that useful. They're just bats. They just kind of go around. They're like these two. They're not really that big of a deal at all. For bees, and now this is another thing, bees are on here twice. I can't tell if there's a difference, but we're just going to use the first bee. For the bee, I gotta say, it's a little bit higher than the actual axolotl. The reason for this is because bees, with them, you can actually get honey. And if you have the right tools, you get the right situation set up, you can actually make little bee domes, biodomes, have your own little bee farm, and start using that to actually earn yourself some benefits or whatever it might be. So they're pretty useful. They can be either good or bad depending on how the situation goes down. So that's how I personally stand on it. And I gotta put blazes in the B tier as well, and it's not because the letter B is in their name, but instead the reason why is because blazes help you a lot with brewing stations. Once you use them, you can actually get a blaze to actually help you out quite a bit when it comes to brewing specific potions, whatever it might be that you're going to need to create. And they also can be used for Eye of Enders in order to make it to the end. And then next up, we got the horses. And now I had this a little bit confused in the earlier recording, so I'm just gonna settle this one right now. I gotta say, this horse is a little bit down here. I think it's like a donkey, the donkey, a little bit down there. Nothing against it, but just a little bit smaller in the images, and I don't really remember that much about it. Plus, I got a little mad about the confusion I had, but the normal horse is in there at A tier. Now, what is S tier when it comes to horses is actually going to be our friend over here, our friendo, the mule guy. The reason why I gotta say this, they can actually have little chest slots. So if you actually want to, store some goodies in a chest on the little traversal mule, you can do that with this guy right here. However, you can't really do that with him down there. That's the difference I'm getting at here. And I think that's all for the horses, I do believe. Let me just double check here. Okay, so with that said, it's time to go into more of the territory. We're just gonna alright. So first off, we got rabbits. Now, rabbits or bunnies, whatever you want to call them, they're not really that useful. You can get rabbits' feet, but at the end of the day, they're not going to really change anything with your runs or any situations that go on. Then, you've got poison spiders, and let me tell you, I hate them. They're going E tier. That's just what I've got to say. Poison spiders, way worse than normal spiders because they're smaller. They can poison you if you're on the right difficulties. They're just a headache, especially when you're in an abandoned mineshaft and these things just keep on spawning as you're trying to get rid of cobwebs and just loot up the place. Chickens, not that useful. You can use them for some things like, making more chickens with eggs or making cakes, but overall they're just kind of there. Same with fish. There's actually quite a few fish in here. I'm going to put them all in the same tier, C tier, because they're all just kind of, fish. They just float around, they bob around, they're just there, they're just vibing, I guess. There's nothing really too cool, nothing too bad about them, and if anything, if we really wanted to, we could probably bump down the pufferfish specifically down a tier, just because if you eat a pufferfish, if I remember correctly, it does give you you like a poison effect for a few seconds. So it's a little bit worse than the normal fish you can get through, you know, just fishing around the island or eliminating them, because these are the mob versions of them. Cows, gotta put it in B tier, and let me explain this. Cows are going to be B tier because if you think about it, they can give you leather, which you can make item frames with, you can make basic armor with, they also give you food, so they're pretty useful in those aspects. And something else that is super useful, just like a cow, is going to be sheep, because one, you get food as well, you get mutton, but also you get wool, which can be made for, you can use the wool for art, or you can use it to actually, you know, make a bed, so it's pretty useful in that aspect, especially if you want to skip the night, but also because of the fact that, hey, if you get carpets, you could do a carpet dupe, and with that you get tons of carpets of the color you chose, which allows you to actually make a special map, you know, some map art very easily without having to grind out a million sheep throughout years of playing. So I might be giving it a little bit of a higher advantage just because of the fact that, you know, you can dupe carpets with a glitch, but it's just my opinions. Llamas, they're not really that useful, they're just kind of there. I mean, like, I'll put it D tier. I'm going to put the llamas D tier, to be completely honest. There's nothing I really have like against them, but there's nothing that's really cool about them in my personal opinion. And then we have creepers. Creepers, they just blow up stuff, but at the end of the day, if you can handle them, they're not as annoying as these guys down here, so I'm just going to keep it like that. Parrots, they're a vibe. I'm putting it in A tier just because they're a vibe. You can get a jukebox, you can set that down, a music note block, whatever it is, and you can just vibe with them, watch them dance around, they can sit on your shoulder, they're just nice little companions to have. This one, put it in B tier. I know, a zombie in B tier, but let me explain. It's a zombie villager, and with the right tools and resources, you can turn it into a normal villager. And if you get those tools and resources, let's say you set up this villager correctly, you potentially could have a villager that could give you a cheap mending book, just chilling in your base at all times, no matter what. So personally, I say they're not that bad. They're the better zombies out there because they have a lot more use than the normal zombies on the island. However, what I have to mention here is the other zombies. So first off, I'm putting the two unique ones here, the newer ones. I'm going to put them in C tier. I do believe there's a second one here. I just can't seem to find it. But another thing I want to mention here, it will eventually find it. But another thing I want to mention is that the normal zombie, I'm putting in D tier. And there's nothing really against the normal zombie. The only thing I have against the normal zombie is the fact that it's a little bit more boring than these other new variants that have special conditions, such as, you know, being in the desert, being in the water. Those two types of zombies are a little bit more unique, and if anything, I might actually drop the desert one down here and keep this guy at C tier because he can have a trident, he can have those cooler stuff, so I am saying that that one gets the slight advantage. And now I'm putting the dolphin up here in A tier just because, you know, it's way faster to get around the island when you got this dolphin just flying around with you. And there is the thing I despise. You go straight to F tier, my friend. And now let me explain. Have you ever been playing Minecraft, right? And you're just trying to explore. Maybe you're trying to go for a treasure map or something, and you go over one of the ocean monuments and get hit with mining fatigue, and it feels like years that this mining fatigue is going on where you just can't break anything. It's just so annoying, and I absolutely despise it. And now the normal ones of them, they're not as annoying. You know, they can go up there in E tier. They're still kind of hard to fight. They can be annoying sometimes, but they're not as annoying as this dude right here. I hate this guy. Just simply put, I hate him. No, get him away from me. Ender Dragon, I'm gonna be honest, I'm putting it in B tier. The reason I'm putting it in B tier is just because it's a unique fight. And now, you know what? No, I'm putting it in B tier. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Enderman, I'm also going to put in B tier here because Enderman, you know, you eliminate them, you can set up farms and stuff, you get Ender Pearls, you can get Eye of Ender, you can get a lot of stuff done from the Ender Pearls, and they're going to be your gateway to going to the end cities, you know, going through all that stuff, so they're definitely up there. However, its companion here, the Endermite, is nothing but an annoyance. It's not even like a hard enemy or anything, it's just annoying. So I'm going to put it down there just because, why do you exist? You don't need to exist in Minecraft, dog. You didn't do anything. You didn't add on to anything, you didn't subtract from anything, you were just kind of there. This guy, I'm putting him in E tier just because, you know, he spawns all the stuff. It gets pretty annoying, which is why I'm going to put his little ghost that he spawns in F tier, because they're super annoyances. They're super annoying. They can be hard to fight when there's a lot of them. So that's just what I gotta say. And now you might not agree with me. You might agree with me. Who really knows? Foxes. Foxes are going to go in C tier. And I know this is kind of like the useless tier or the, hey, that's a little bit more unique than normal tier, but foxes, you can tame them from what I've read. However, in my hardcore world, I found a fox, and the only way I tamed it was by trapping it in my home and watching as it kept sleeping on my bed despite it not even being my fox. I tried feeding it, you know, my sword, trying to let it pick it up with its mouth or anything, and one time it almost tried running away with a diamond I gave it. So it's just an interesting creature that is super hard to obtain, or I guess, you know, super hard to tame, but they're still there. They're not the worst, they're not the best, they're just kind of there. Now, what I'm going to say for the ghast is that they're just kind of there as well. However, they're going to go in D tier just because it's kind of like, it's a ghast, you know? It's kind of like a zombie. It's like, oh, there's one of those. Of course, it's not exactly like a zombie. It's a little bit harder to fight, but that's just where I stand on it. And now here is where the controversy comes to play. Y'all know the glow squid, right? The thing that won the Minecraft mob vote in the past? Well, I have something to tell you guys. I have a confession to make. I voted for the glow squid. I was one of those people that did it. And let me tell you, I made the right choice because the glowing ink sacs that you can actually obtain, I love making glowing signs that look bold and bright, and you can do that with the glow squid's ink sacs, so I love that feature about them, and I'm gonna put them up in A tier, believe it or not. Goats, they can go in C tier. They're actually just kind of there. I haven't really, you know, encountered them too much. They're just meh, they're whatever. This guy, go in E tier. I don't like you. I just don't. Iron Golem, A tier, simply put. Pandas, they can go up here in B tier, mainly because I have a nice little backstory about it. Basically, on a server me and my friend played on, we found an area where there were a lot of pandas and a lot of bamboo, and we ended up encapsulating both of our builds as little like pranks throughout the island in bamboo because of how fast they grew, and it ended up becoming this massive just build of bamboo on both directions surrounding our bases. And the reason why we never wanted to mess with it is because you break one bamboo due to how high it grows, you're gonna be collecting stuff for ages, because you break like 3 fully grown lengths of bamboo, you have like 4 to 5 inventories full of just bamboo sitting there. So it gets pretty hectic pretty fast just because of how fast they grow and how high they grow. So I just gotta say, no fond memories, it can go there. The Magma Slime, I'm gonna put it in C tier, a little bit more unique in my opinion than the ghast, but I'm going to put the normal slime in B tier because you can make sticky pistons and stuff like that with it, and sticky pistons are super useful for cool little contraptions. The untamed cat, we're gonna put in C tier. You know, it's kind of there with the foxes, and then the tamed version, we're gonna put it in B tier. You know, it's a nice little cat, a little kitty cat. It doesn't do much, but it's still there, and I do think they scare away creepers, so that's pretty useful. Now when it comes to this guy, the person that was added that was like, hey, you've been awake too much, you gotta go to sleep or else we're going to eliminate you. Personally, in single player, I don't mind them. However, in a multiplayer, like vanilla survival server, they can get super annoying because, let's say, you know, not everyone's able to sleep at a time. You either gotta make sure those who can't sleep leave the game quickly, or you just gotta deal with it. You gotta deal with these guys eventually attacking you, and sometimes there's like 2 or 3 of them based on how many people are near you that will target one player at a time, and oh my god, does it get hectic. So with that said, I'm gonna put it in C tier. I think it's actually kind of unique. They're kind of unique, but definitely better than, like, definitely more interesting than a creeper and stuff, but not on the same level of an Ender Dragon at all. Pigs, they can go in C tier as well. They're not as useful as the other ones, but they are still there. These guys, I'm gonna put them in B tier. The reason why is because if you trade with them, and I don't remember if these two are any different other than, you know, the actual axe or sword they obtain, or like, you know, they're holding, but you can trade with them, get some nice little goodies. However, something that's even better than those guys has gotta be him. The reason why is if you get a village set up properly, you can just farm these guys. You can farm raids, you can get buffs, you can get tons of discounts from villagers, and you can make some quick stonks that way. So you know what? Even though they're a little bit of a difficult mob, and their other counterparts are, you know, going to be rated a little bit lower, them themselves are pretty cool to actually fight, and, you know, the buffs they give are pretty useful. you're just going to become more useful when you grow up, so you can be in a C tier. However, the normal villager can be in B tier because, you know what? The normal villager is going to be in A tier. The reason why is because, you know, you use this guy, you use him, you can get tons of trades, you get the right villager setup made, and you can get mending books for very cheap, and it just works out very well. Polar bears I find to be a B tier thing, not even because of their usefulness or anything, but because of a cool little gimmick they have where if you're near one of their babies, they actually are aggravated and they'll attack you on sight. However, if they're on their own, they won't attack you when you're nearby, and I find that to be actually super cool. You're going in F tier. I'm sorry. It's just how it's got to go. However, the mushroom got to go up there with the cow. I mean, it's just another version of the cow. It's just more rare, and they're actually kind of cool. You know, you can get mushrooms from them. Nothing to say about that. This guy, I'm putting him in S tier. Now, I know, he's less useful than the other one in S tier. However, the reason I'm putting him in S tier is because they're just so cool the way they spawn and their, like, you know, effects and everything. Because lightning strikes on the ground, 3 of these guys typically spawn with skeletons riding on top of them. It's like a reward for doing a boss fight is, hey, or I guess not a boss fight, but a mini fight that you weren't expecting is, hey, you get a cool little skeleton horse that was originally rode on by other skeletons and was summoned on you by lightning. So I think they're just super cool. Shulkers, they're going to go in B tier because the fact that you can eliminate them and you can get shulker boxes, pretty nice to get some shulker boxes, especially since it's just a portable chest. Silverfish, you're just annoying. You're just like your brother. You're just like the Endermite. You're just bigger. You're just a bigger version of the Endermite, and you're just still annoying. Skeletons, you can go there with the zombies. You're just kind of meh. Snow golem, see, I mean, like you can attack stuff. The snow golem can attack stuff, and it can leave snow trails on the ground. But at the same time, it's kind of like it's not going to eliminate a wither or anything. It's not going to really help you out too much. Normal spiders, I'll put them in C tier. You know, they're a little bit better than the poison ones, and you can set up a nice little farm or whatever. You know, you have a little door, and these guys can't just walk straight through the door into you because they need a too wide slot. The spider jockey, however, I'm putting in B tier just because it's a little bit more unique. The normal squid, I'm gonna put it in D tier. You know, the glow squid's way better, much better version. This guy, I haven't really experienced him too much, but they have a cooler version of the skeleton, so I'm voting them as the better skeleton. You, Mr. Travel on Flames. You're the nether boat, and I really appreciate you, so you can go in A tier. And now the actual turtle here, pretty normal, just another fish thing, you know, another thing in the ocean. I'll put them in C tier with the rest of them. A little bit more useful than just the food versions, but at the same time, they're just kind of there. When it comes to you, I don't really know off the top of my head. I forget exactly how different you are. Aren't you just, don't you just pull out an axe and attack you when you're at like one of the mansions? I would say, you know, a nice little attack thing, a nice little interesting thing, but nothing too cool. I'll put it in C tier. Wandering Traveler, E tier. You never have good trades. The only thing good I ever get from you is free leads and free, you know, llamas, whatever they are. You never give me anything good, man. Your trades always suck, so I gotta put you there. Now, when it comes to this guy, I know when we were talking about bosses, we said the Ender Dragon was pretty cool, but there's something better, and that's because this guy exists. He can make Minecraft a horror game, and I absolutely love it. In the actual 1.19 snapshot that recently released, I got to experience that, and oh my god, is it a super interesting fight. There's super interesting mechanics. I just love how he works. Which, on the other hand, just kind of meh, you know, better than a zombie, of course, but just kind of meh at the same time. Wither, C tier. I mean, like, you know, B tier, we got the Ender Dragon. That thing's cool and stuff. You know, it's got crystals and all that fancy stuff. Up here, you got him, who is, like, super crazy. The Wither's just kind of, hey, I got 3 heads, and I'll blow up all the stuff that you make, like, is near you, because you spawned me into the world, father. And then, you know, we got the skeleton with the sword. They're just another skeleton that just does a little bit more damage. Then we got the OG wolf. And now I'm putting the wolf up here in B tier. Now, Yeah, I'm putting it up here in B tier with the other, with the tamed cat. They can be together. I just think that, you know, that's fair. Both of them, I would say that, you know, wolves are way easier to obtain, but both of them are pretty cool. You know, they're just nice little pets to have along the island. And now, of course, this guy, gonna go in E tier with his brother. You're just another version of him, so you can stay there. And we're in the final two. As I said, I'm not rating the B because we've already rated that one. This one's just going to go up here. I mean, it's not like, you know what, actually, it'll go up here with the rest of them. No, C tier. The reason I'm putting it down here instead is because of the fact that this guy is just the old version. It doesn't have any trades or anything. It's just kind of there to be there and to be, you know, a memory for the legacy players. So, yeah, I'm just going to put that there. You know, it's a little bit worse than these guys, but it's still not annoying at all. And for our final one, we got a little bit of a baby. I'm putting the baby in D tier just because I don't know that much about it. So here is the finalized list. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know in the comments down below. But with that said, I'll see you champs and champets next time with another YouTube video. Peace out.